Moving on with the carburetor dance. This back carburetor don't wanna, when I give it just a little bit of gas, it doesn't really want to take off good. Kind of acts like it's starving for fuel. The front one works good. I've got my fuel pump and regulator and everything in it. What I did is swap the springs for these metering rods front to back. That didn't seem to do much of anything. So I'm going to put a little bit bigger jets or smaller metering rods to give it a little more gas in here. Hopefully I can get it to run a little better when it first comes off of idle. I'm not sure even what I'm doing here. I thought about taking the swapping the jets or the metering rods from front to back. I'm going to pull them out and look at them and just try that at first. Just swap the metering rods and see what happens there. Well, here's the two metering rods. The one that's working good is this one that looks a little better here. This was the front carburetor. When I put these together though, you can see that the step is different. There's like a 1/4 of an inch longer step on the back rod. So I'm gonna look in a little, I've got a little jet kit here. I'm gonna see if I can find a rod that's the same and put that in first before I go just swapping them. I measured both these with a micrometer, both 78, 73. The little and the intermediate step there. I've got some other these other new rods. I got 70-40, 70-37, and 70-47 on these 3 sets. See what I can figure out here. Well, here's another problem with these jets. You can see there that the new one, the angle is it's a 1/16 of an inch. If I put these lined up there, the top part there sticks out too far. So when the spring is in the little groove, it wants to put the jet in the angle, and then it won't go down. So now I gotta try to modify these things. Well, the new 70-40 rods look like they're the same length. This old one here, or the other new one, you can see they're both the same, but they're laying next to each other. So that one rod is about the width of the rod too long on top. Anyway, I'm going to put ones that look like they'll fit in the 70-40s here. See what happens. No cigar on that one, as you can see. There's the old one and the new ones. That's an 1/8 of an inch. I'm holding them here with my finger, but that's really not right. I'm gonna try cutting these off with nippers and see what happens. Yeah, I just nipped them off. I don't have a stop hold on it right now, but I'm gonna see if they'll go in a carburetor, and then if I have to, I can file a little groove in. The back one. Well, the back one is taking it slow. I hear some clicking. Thought turn signal was on, but it's the accelerator pumps look to be about the same. This one might be a little slow. I could step it up a little, but this one here not taking it smoothly even after I put those trimmed needles in there. I guess what I can do is actually swap the front to the back needles. I ain't gonna try to mess with those that I gotta cut off and fool around with. If I can just get it taking that back carburetor smooth, I'll be good enough. Once it gets up to where it transitions onto the main jet, runs good. I checked my timing, and it was like about 2500 when all the advance and everything is in there. I'm about 29 degrees, so I think timing's pretty good. I just don't know if it's going to be able to run and drive smoothly. I'll play with those needles a little bit more, swap them back and forth, see if I can get that back carburetor to take it smooth. And there's my cheapo jet kit. It don't look like anything really fit, and I measured the jets, and they're not really measuring what they're supposed to either. I don't know about the springs or anything, but so far I'm not very happy with what I got, but I didn't pay much, 15 bucks for the whole thing, so really can't cry too much. But if I was dependent on it, I'd be really disappointed. I took a look here. I had adjusted all these air screws. It looks like they're out 4 turns. I know that's way too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put a little bigger jets down in here, and see if I can get a little more fuel going through these idle circuits. Might be something wrong, but I doubt it because both of them are at 4 turns. So I'll just try a bigger jet. Maybe I got my focus fixed, but these original jets here, they say 395. These say 395. These say 370, I think, and these are, I don't remember what these are. But what happens is these measure 88. These do measure 90, even though they say 95. These say 390. but when I measure them with the calipers, they're all measuring, all of those brass jets are measuring exactly the same, 395. So I'm going to put the smallest marked one in and we'll see what happens. Well, that bigger jet helped it. Still not right, but it's taking the idle pretty smooth. I think next thing I'm going to try is a step stronger spring. Maybe that'll hold it up a little. It's got a lot of vacuum, 22 inches. So maybe a spring will change it. Well, the ones that came in the kit, they pretty much all look the same. Yeah, this thing don't want to focus. Anyway, the black ones there are the ones that were in it. Looks like the ones that are next to it are a little longer. I think I want to try to put those in and see if this changes it. I did that. Let's start it and see what happens. You can hear it when I just give it a little bit of gas. It misses and then it hits the next step up and takes off good. This front carburetor seems to be doing fine. I can't really tell what these jets did. If anything, they made it worse, or that spring made it a little worse. Maybe it's something in my air bleed screws or something down in there on this carburetor. But what does bothers me, when I look down in there, the passenger side is getting quite a bit of gas, and the driver's side doesn't seem to be getting as much. I can't tell for sure, but that was what it looked like before. And on the front carburetor, looks like the same amount of gas is coming out of both of them. So at this point, I don't know whether I should get a can of Berryman and spend $70 on carb cleaner and boil this thing out really good and blow it out, or try to buy another carburetor for $150 or so. I'll have to think about that. I jerked this one off. I got a can of this Berryman stuff, and it came loose from the manifold. I didn't have any sealer in here. It's possible that this manifold could be leaking a little bit. Anyway, I'll take a straight edge and some sandpaper, clean that up a little, and put silicone on it again, on that gray stuff. And the gasket looks okay. I can't really see any real evidence of leaking. I gotta take all this stuff off of here. Hopefully I can tap it with something and get it loose to come loose from that carburetor, and then I can take the carburetor apart and throw it in the dip. Well, I threw everything in this chem dip. Turn, you know, it's got really good results. I don't know how long this has been in here. A while. It's not the same formula as it used to be. It used to be really nasty shit. Looks like it doesn't hardly smell anymore. But it's taken everything off really good. Those old boosters and everything. I probably should have done this in the beginning. Live and learn. I thought this stuff used to be, I don't know, a gallon like that was like $70. I don't remember, but it was really expensive. But that whole thing was only $30, so I should have done this in the first place. But yeah, this was an ugly carburetor. It looks like it's shined up real good. And found some stuff with a manifold that might have been part of my problem. There are a bunch of gouges in it. Right in here. Some raised up places. A few scratches and this and that. I didn't think that it would make any difference when I first started putting this all together. I thought, well, the gasket will fix it. But now that I'm having these idling problems, this and that and the other thing, I took my little straight edge here and kind of trimmed it up. It's all really flat now. I'll run over that with a piece of sandpaper and finish flattening it out. So here's that stud I made. I screwed it down in there with blue Loctite and threaded it here. Somehow in the threading process I bent it. I think I'll probably cut that bad end off of there with a hacksaw. Makes it hard to get it down over that stud. So anyway, that might have been part of my problem. And I should have done this carburetor. This one here was a pretty good one. It's still running good. This back one was the one that didn't want to take part throttle. Anyway, they're all cleaned up and washed out. I don't know if I get it back on today, but kind of hot out here. About 100, temperature's going down, but with my COPD, heat really knocks me out. Anyway, we'll finish cleaning up this carburetor and see what we got. Well, here it is back together, shining like a new jewel. So I think it's if this don't fix it, I don't know what will. But it looks really good. Everything's super clean. Everything, the bulbs down inside, all the jets are clean. Everything's real nice. All carbon, everything's gone. So that's probably what I should have done in the first place. Well, I put my beautiful carburetor on and it wouldn't pump. Here's another fail for the. Let's see if I hook these both the same length here on the bottom. Man, it's a quarter of an inch longer. This is the old one here on the left, and I took the rubber off. I thought that might help it. Put it on there, and it wouldn't pump at all. So this fine fancy fuel pump here is junk. I'm going to put the old one back on and see what's happening. Now the old pump in there, you can see it gives it a nice healthy squirt. I don't know if the camera's showing it, but it's pumping really well. So that accelerator pump was bad. It was running a lot better on this carburetor. I mean a lot better. It was idling and everything else. It just, when the accelerator pump not working, as soon as you give it some gas it balked. Well, I had such good results with that other carburetor that I popped this one off, took it apart, and boil it out. Not in too bad a shape, but this was the good one. But after looking at how nice the other one turned out, this one really looks bad now. So I got most of this stuff down in the goop here. Bits and stuff. Let it soak for 20 minutes or so, and then we'll pour it back into my big pan and try to soak this main body. Well, there we go. Both of them on. I went back to the old fuel pump. That one works good. That one works good. Accelerator pumps work good. They idle good. Starts right up. Still wandering around a little. That's a little better. This one. Yeah, that sounds better. Both of them accelerate good. About the same, and they drop down, so looks like that's a success. Well, here's the final. Everything's on it. I still got a lot of loose stuff, but down on the ground, fires up, everything shifts good, brakes work. So got tires on it. All I'm going to do now is just drive it back and forth and see what it does. Alright, here's a first test drive. Not going to be much, just back and forth.
doing wheelies. Tire spinning. Tire spinning.
Runs and drives. Didn't got it very straight, did I?
That's it.
Yeah, straighten it out a little bit. What do you think?
Success. What do you think?
Yeah, brakes need adjusting, but got plenty of power to spin tires, both of them.
Did you see the front one lifted?
Huh?
Did you see front tires lifted?
Yeah. Cool.
Still running.
Anyway, the smoked tire is good here on the pavement. And I can't tell, I think it's both of them.
Yep, both.
Huh?
These two, you can see the marks.
Anyway, feels pretty good. Solid, no twisting. I have to drive it around a little and get the brakes to work right. But looks like a success.